Tonight on CFTK-TV News, MP Ellis Ross weighs in on Prime Minister Carney's recent announcement, Terrace RCMP seek a missing person, and a local program cleans up the city.
Northwest BC's only television news team. We are CFTK-TV News.
Hello and thanks for joining us on this Thursday, November 20th, 2025. I'm Jaylene Matthews. The BC Legislature has narrowly passed a confidence bill on the North Coast transmission line with the deciding vote from the Speaker. Premier David Eby has staked his new Democrat government on the bill, which passed 47 to 46 with the help of Speaker Raj Chouhan. All NDP legislative members voted in favor of the bill, while all opposition Conservatives, 2 Greens, and 3 Independents voted against. The bill for the planned $6 billion power line between Prince George and Terrace is now awaiting final approval by the Lieutenant Governor. The planned power line would service several resource projects in northwestern BC. Those include mines and the Silizum's LNG project, which is also being considered by Ottawa for fast-tracking. Prime Minister Mark Carney's recent announcements and fast-tracking project agenda continue to divide opinions, and MP Ellis Ross is weighing in on offering bold, unapologetic commentary on what he believes the region truly needs.
The reason for this meeting is to announce the second group, the second tranche of major projects that will be referred to what's known as the Major Projects Office.
Well, that's the thing about all these announcements, these projects. They were always going in the right direction, with or without this Major Projects Office, with or without Carney's announcements. I mean, it seems to me that this government is taking the easy road on announcing projects that were already announced. Like with or without the fast-tracking, Nisga'a-Lism's Psy LNG project was already well on its way.
The Major Project Office will also help coordinate timely approvals of all 3 elements.
The Major Projects Office is not staffed. They don't have any environmental legislation that they can rely on. They don't have any regulations. And so my understanding is the Major Project Office is there to give you tips on how to get your project approved faster. Well, I could do that. I don't have to spend millions of dollars of taxpayers' dollars to give you tips on how to get a project fast-tracked.
Silizum comprises a new gas pipeline, a new electricity transmission line, and a new floating LNG export facility.
The Haisla, my band, has bought the certificate for the reserve number 6 for the LNG project. Chevron left town. Well, Haisla bought that project for the reserve lands, and that's permitted for an LNG facility. Now you combine that with a certificate with Enbridge. Enbridge bought that pipeline certificate off Chevron. That's alive and well. You don't have to go back and get another certificate. So all you need now is some investor or some proponent or some LNG company to build an LNG facility on our reserve number 6 down channel, and you've got a shovel-ready project ready to go. You don't need any more environmental assessments. So I'll be encouraging this government, number 1, invest in Stewart. They need your help. They've got international potential, and invest in the LNG project on Indian Reserve number 6 for the Haisla Nation. And we can get those 2 projects up and running quickly. You don't have to re-announce LNG Canada Phase 2. You don't have to re-announce Nisga'a-Lism's Psy LNG. You can get these projects off the ground, and you can fast-track that if you really want Canada to be an energy superpower or to be the best performing country in the G7.
And tomorrow we'll bring you part 2, featuring reactions from local residents and more from MP Ellis Ross. The Terrace RCMP are currently investigating a case that involved a man going missing. The missing man's name is Leif Tremblay, and his last reported sighting was at his own personal residence, and he also might be associated with an older model gray Ford Ranger that has a white canopy. Tremblay's description is that of a 24-year-old Caucasian male who's around 6'2", weighing about 160 pounds, with brown hair and eyes. Anyone who has information on where he might be located is asked to contact the Terrace RCMP at 250-638-7400. Next up is a look at a program that's dedicated to cleaning up the garbage throughout the city of Terrace. CFTK-TV's Kale Maslin has more.
The Garage Community Space in Terrace recently wrapped up its Downtown Cleanup Beautification Initiative for 2025 after running it for the past 6 months. It's a program that the Garage of the City of Terrace partnered up together on, and the Garage's executive director explained how that partnership came about.
We connected with staff from the City of Terrace, the recreational and parks staff, and they made a map, and the map was of a certain section, mainly the downtown core of Terrace. And we had a contract with them then to clean up the streets within this map that of streets that we were responsible for. And we got together a crew of people. We met together and we started talking with the staff of the city in March of this year. And by the end of April, we had our crew together and we went to start doing the cleanup.
Cleanup days occurred twice a week, where the crew would meet up and then start picking up garbage for around a couple hours, and then put them in rolling bins that were provided by the city. And while people could volunteer their services to the program, they had a more specific group of people in mind when recruiting was taking place.
We got together a crew of people that a lot of them have been through difficult situations or have had struggles, so it's made it hard for them to work or even to have full-time work. And so, not all of them, but a number of them. And so we got together and we had a initiation. We had a code of conduct that we all signed together about how we would be on the job and things that we expected, and then that's how we got our team together.
Over the course of their cleaning efforts, they managed to fill up 108 total bags of garbage, dispose of over 60 needles, and find some uncommon items like phones, clothing, coins, and even a kitty litter box. The program also got support from E360 Solutions, who gave them the garbage bags. And while it isn't a done deal at the moment, the Garage's organizers are hoping to continue running this program next year as well. For CFTK-TV News, I'm Kale Maslin.
Coming up next, Alberta's pipeline propositions push ahead. Pipeline controversy continues as Alberta and Ottawa push along pipeline plans, and the BC Premier, along with a strong backing, continue to hold out in opposition. CTV's Rob Buffum reports.
CTV has learned talks between Ottawa and Alberta for a new pipeline to BC's coast are progressing, and an agreement is potentially mere days away. News the federal finance minister didn't dispute Wednesday.
I don't want to prejudge what may happen, but I would say that Canada is an energy superpower, doing that responsibly, sustainably.
A new pipeline to BC's coast would involve lifting the existing oil tanker ban. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith indicated last week an agreement was coming down the pipe.
We've made a lot of progress. We've been going back and forth on an MOU every day, I think, as we're getting the final wording, and I'm really hopeful that we'll have something more to say about that in a few days.
Pipeline politics has intensified over the past few months. BC Premier David Eby repeatedly rejecting the idea, which so far doesn't have a private proponent. Earlier this month, he joined coastal First Nations to amplify that message and sign a declaration upholding the tanker ban.
It's really difficult for me to shadow box with a non-existent project that has non-existent benefits because it will never be built and it's not going to happen.
A message hammered home by the energy minister Wednesday.
There's no proponent There's no route. There's a tanker ban that BC strongly supports. The project does not make economic sense. There are alternative projects that make more sense for Canada and for Alberta.
Coastal First Nations say their approval is needed and not given. Other First Nations agree, but say they aren't surprised by an agreement, given Smith seemed unfazed when a pipeline wasn't part of earlier nation-building projects approved by Ottawa.
Little or no reaction from Alberta. And at that point in time, I knew that it would be forthcoming in a short period of time. So here we are.
The BC Conservatives support the pipeline and point to the NDP's opposition to the Trans Mountain project, which eventually got built, but after costly delays.
We have a government today that is insisting on blocking the movement of oil from Alberta through to the coast.
Whether that resistance prevents a new pipeline may be known in the coming days.
Robert Buffum, CTV News, Victoria.
Heavy rain and snow are in the forecast for parts of BC's northern regions as a frontal system moves in. Environment Canada has issued rainfall warnings for BC's north and central coast from Bella Coola to Kitimat, with precipitation expected to reach up to 70 millimeters in the next 24 hours. A snowfall warning in northwestern BC has also been expanded from Haines Road linking Yukon with the Alaskan Panhandle to also include White Pass south of Carcross. The heavy rain is expected to moderate by Friday. Turning now to your 5-day Northwest BC weather report. Tonight on the north coast, expect conditions to be rainy. Expect some wind as well, a low of 7 degrees. Over the next few days on the north coast, expect mainly showers, but Sunday is looking clear and sunny. Daily highs 4 to 7 degrees, overnight lows from 5 degrees dropping down to freezing. Tonight in the Terrace-Kitimat area, expect it to be rainy with some wind this evening, temperature steady near plus 5 degrees. Over the next few days in the Terrace-Kitimat area, you're looking at a good chance of a fair bit of showers, but expect sunshine Sunday before some snow starts to fall on Monday. Daily highs ranging from -2 to 5 degrees, overnight lows from -4 to 2 degrees. Tonight in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, it's looking cloudy with a 30% chance of showers, some wind gusting up to 40, temperature steady near plus 3 degrees. Over the next few days in the Bulkley Valley and Lakes District, expect a mix of sun, showers, and flurries. Daily highs ranging from 6 degrees down to -2 degrees. Overnight lows from -2 to -9 degrees. Checking your Northwest BC highways now. On Highway 16, watch for bridge maintenance, road maintenance, slippery sections, as well as utility work. On Highway 37, utility work, slippery sections, compact snow, as well as winter driving conditions. On Highway 37A, there's a section with falling rocks, as well as bridge maintenance underway, also slippery sections and compact snow. On Highway 118, watch for slippery sections and compact snow. On the Niska Highway, there's roadside brushing underway, as well as slippery sections. And this is what the roads were looking like this afternoon around the region from the view of the province's highway cams. Still to come, the manhunt for Ryan Wedding. An extraordinary media briefing in Washington Department of Justice yesterday over the hunt for Ryan Wedding, the one-time Canadian Olympic snowboarder now on the FBI's most wanted list. He's described as a modern-day Pablo Escobar, dangerous, deadly, and responsible for a major narcotics trafficking and terror program. CTV's Mike Lecouteur on the new charges and the hunt.
The reward for Wedding's arrest has been upped to $15 million American.
a significant amount for someone that law enforcement says is a major drug kingpin.
Ryan Wedding is a modern-day iteration of Pablo Escobar.
Law enforcement in Canada and the U.S. are calling the former Canadian Olympic snowboarder the leader of a transnational criminal enterprise. In addition to reportedly shipping truckloads of cocaine across North America, the FBI and U.S. Justice Department are now charging Ryan Wedding with 2 additional counts of witness tampering, intimidation, and money laundering.
Wedding is also accused of murdering a federal witness after he was indicted in 2024.
U.S. officials allege Wedding used semi-trucks to import 60 tons of cocaine annually into the U.S. That amount of drugs is the same weight as 40 standard cars.
Ryan Wedding is extremely dangerous. He's extremely violent, and he's extremely wealthy. He's being protected by the Sinaloa cartel, along with others in the country of Mexico.
American law enforcement has been working with the RCMP because of his links to Canada and his alleged connection to 4 murders in Ontario. It's believed his vast network includes a former Mexican law enforcement officer and money launderers from Italy and the UK.
Fugitive Ryan Wedding remains one of the top threats to Canadian public safety, and as per the previous indictment, continues to run an over $1 billion a year criminal enterprise.
While increasing the reward for his arrest to $15 million, U.S. law enforcement is asking for the public's help to find Wedding.
Please understand that he might change his hair color, his appearance, and do anything to avoid capture, but someone like Ryan Wedding is going to stick out in Mexico.
With today's indictment, U.S. law enforcement says approximately 36 people have been indicted, and they warn Ryan Wedding that his days are numbered. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Prime Minister Mark Carney's trip to the United Arab Emirates has resulted in an investment pact with the country. Carney met with the president of the UAE and also launched talks for a full trade deal. The Prime Minister also met this morning with the UAE's industry minister and with local sovereign wealth funds and investment companies. The visit comes just 1 month after the 2 countries signed an agreement to boost collaboration on artificial intelligence and data centers. Turning to the markets now, Canada's main stock index fell more than 370 points, weighed down by losses in the basic materials sector, while U.S. markets also fell. The Canadian dollar fell 0.2 cents. The price of gold was down $22.80. Oil dropped 25 cents. Natural gas was down 11 cents. Aluminum was up 31.50. In Toronto, the TSX was down close to 372 points. The Venture Index was down by 24. In New York, the Nasdaq was down 486 points, and the Dow Jones was down by almost 387 points. Still ahead, the Vancouver retail giant filling big shoes. The parent company of Bell Canada is slashing nearly 700 jobs. BCE calls it a difficult but necessary decision to deliver what it calls sustainable growth. The company says the cuts are less than 2% of Bell's total workforce, shedding 650 manager positions and around 40 jobs at Bell Media. Bell slashed 9% of its workforce, or about 4,800 jobs in February 2024, as it also offloaded dozens of radio stations and ended multiple TV newscasts. When Nordstrom left Vancouver's popular shopping destination, Pacific Centre, it left a massive void in the downtown shopping scene. But as CTV's Martin McMahon reports, a local retail giant is ready to move in and set up shop.
There's been a gap in downtown Vancouver's retail scene since Nordstrom's 2023 departure from Pacific Centre Mall. But now fashion giant Aritzia plans to fill it with a new flagship store.
Yeah, it's exciting news. I knew that the store was coming, but I didn't realize it was going to be nearly as large as it was announced. 40,000 square feet over 4 floors. Really quite groundbreaking. Certainly the largest store of its kind in Canada for Aritzia.
In a core that's seen 4 lease signs and closures in recent times, there's hope Aritzia's arrival will have a larger knock-on effect.
Council's working to revitalize Granville Street. There's a planning initiative that was recently approved. We're trying to create a Times Square experience at Robson and Granville Street, and this can be part of that. So these stores, they draw people to downtown Vancouver, and they create energy on those blocks.
With Aritzia moving in, the vacancy at the former Bay store downtown becomes the biggest hole left to fill.
This Hudson Bay building is really critical to the health of downtown Vancouver. It's very central, obviously, geographically. It occupies almost an entire city block.
Very personal for me. I used to work there in the basement 20 years ago.
Meisner says the space could come alive again when the World Cup arrives next year in Vancouver.
Right now, we're looking at some options possibly for FIFA. That could be announced shortly. I can't confirm that just yet, but we're looking to activate the space for FIFA.
Whether that means an Olympic-style party space similar to 2010 at this point is unclear. Meanwhile, Aritzia hasn't announced a definitive opening date, but plans to open its doors sometime in 2027. Martin McMahon, CTV News, Vancouver.
A new report on food costs says rising prices force people to make trade-offs every day. Canadian Food Sentiment Index co-author Stacey Taylor says that includes switching brands, reducing variety, or delaying purchases altogether. More than 4 in 5 survey respondents indicated food prices are their top expense pressure. And we leave you tonight with a feature of an unlikely profession that caters to another unlikely profession. CTV's Andrew Johnson reports.
Inside a modest Nanaimo, BC home, you'll find one of the world's only major suppliers of a certain sort of swagger.
They're beautiful, you know. I never get tired of working on them.
Stitch by stitch, Eleanor von Bedeker and her staff recreate the signature look of one of the past century's brightest stars.
I think it's just Elvis is the full package.
I hope this suit don't tear up, baby. A big part of the Elvis Presley package is iconic 1970s jumpsuits, complete with cape. Von Bedeker, a costumer by trade, started making them for Elvis tribute artists close to 20 years ago. Now, with 8 employees, she can barely keep up with demand, shipping out 600 jumpsuits a year, each priced between $1,000 and $4,000. And her clients' average age may surprise you.
Teenagers or young adults who are just getting started.
Young performers like Jonathan Hicks, aka Johnny Elvis, who comes to Eleanor.
It's a little tight across the thighs.
To perfect his look, impersonating the man he has idolized since he was 5.
I try to really study, go on my iPad, or I watch YouTube videos of him in the 70s. It's full time, and I'm very, very blessed to showcase my talent.
Hicks makes a living channeling Elvis full time, which I discovered is harder than it looks.
You do this whole stance, microphone in.
Left hand is mic.
And you can do a shimmy, you know? Faster, come on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a labor of love for both Johnny and Eleanor, 2 of many keeping the legend alive close to 50 years after Presley's death.
For my darling, I love you.
Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Nanaimo, BC.
That's our news for now. For more local news, come find us at CFTK-TV.com. We're also on TikTok, YouTube, X, and Blue Sky. We'll be back tomorrow with news from around the Northwest and beyond. Thanks for watching.